Alright guys, this is a video response about the discoveries now over the past 3 weeks in Seal Cove and Holyrood. And as I said there in the first video, the whole reason that I decided to look over Seal Cove and Holyrood and whatnot is one book that I was reading called The People's Road, and it was about a fellow that decided to walk clean across Newfoundland from Portabass to St. John's by foot. And this book was was information that he put in there about his walk and what he found along the way and how the track bed and stuff was and that. So it was pretty interesting. And there's one piece in the book that said that there was locomotive boilers, cylinder boilers, all piled up down on the seashore on top of each other. And it didn't say exactly where they were located, other than they were somewhere in Seal Cove. So we decided to start on the Holyrood side and walk toward Seal Cove, which we did. It was about we walked about halfway. Return trip was about 6 kilometers all total. It was quite a walk just for halfway. And we never did find anything on the first trip other than a possible location of a derailment years and years ago due to a lot of metal debris and whatnot alongside the track. So I got a few pictures and stuff of that, and that was okay. So the second week we decided, okay, we'll start on the Seal Cove side and walk towards Holyrood and meet up with the halfway point where we turned around the first time, which we did. And there was a big old rock on the side of the track. If you're going toward Holyrood, it'd be on your right hand side, and if you're going towards Seal Cove, it would have been on your left hand side. So in any case, we went there and we went halfway and never found anything. Went up where the possible derailment was, and I managed to find myself a nice little insulator, which is pretty cool. Just had one little chip in it. It was a clear insulator. So we grabbed that and went on. And on the way back, that's when we found the tenders down on the side of the track. And I mean, they were a good 150, 200 feet away from the track. I mean, they weren't close, but looking down through the trees, looking down through the altars and the woods and stuff, you could see these rusty cylinders or metal debris down in the woods. So we decided to investigate, and what we found was a couple of locomotive tenders, and there was 2 there, and one was marked the Reed Newfoundland Company, and I went on the internet and searched it up, and that was like 1926, 1928 or something like that, before the Reed Newfoundland Company then became the Newfoundland Railway. So it was pretty cool. So we decided the third attempt, as we done this time, we went down and took a look at a couple more boilers. On the second trip, like I said, when we found the tenders, we also went down a little bit further and found some more debris on the bottom, and then we were looking at a boiler sticking out from the side of the bank where there was a washout a little while ago. And Lenny decided to go down and see what was down there anyways, and he found one boiler on the rocks over on the left hand side, and it was cut in half. So anyway, we decided on the third attempt to go back, and we took a rope with us this time, and we tied off, and we had 120 foot of rope to help us get down over the steep embankment, which is a lot safer than freehanding as Lenny did. So we put the rope down, 2 of us went down, we spent the day, went over where that boiler was, and Lenny went around in the corner, and that's when he told me that I should go have a look. And when I went around the corner and had a look at them at the boiler, well, what I seen on the other side of that boiler is what you also seen, was about 13 steam locomotives all piled up on top of each other down on the bottom of the bank, down next to the water. It was a sad thing to see, but they were there nonetheless. And one of the fireboxes was there and managed to get a number off of it, and ended up being a Pacific, number 197, or 196 rather, and that engine was renumbered 597 by CN, Canadian National, and apparently the engine was scrapped in 1954 or 1957, something like that. So as far as the world was concerned, she was scrapped, and that was it. It was the end of her. But it wasn't just the end of her, because she ended up being down on the bottom of the bank with a lot of other things. So there you go. So we decided to go back again, and went to go back and get some more numbers and whatnot off the boilers. But we never did find any other numbers on any of the other boilers. So I had a plan when I went there to put the original CN number back on the side of the firebox, 597, and I hung a Newfoundland flag on the side of the firebox, as well as the number. And I left the flag on the firebox for about 2 or 3 hours. So at least that's one of the locomotives I managed to find was 597. And again, thanks to the chaps on the Newfoundland Railway group on Yahoo Groups for the information and identifying the firebox. And anyways, we also on the way back we met one of the fellow Yahoo Group members, Steve, and we showed him where the boilers were. I never walked all the way down to it, but I showed him where they were located, and brought him over to show him a couple more fireboxes that we found, and there was a number on that one. So we're in the process now of trying to identify that one. And I was going to walk over to show him the tenders, but we never had enough time to do that, so we ended up scrapping that idea and coming back to the cars to leave. So I'd like to say nice meeting you there, Steve, and hopefully we can get together again soon. And like I said in our little walk down the track, I know you're heavily involved with the Clarenville Heritage Society, with the Railway Museum and whatnot there. And like I said, if there's anything I can do to give you guys a hand, just let me know. I know you're going to be laying a bit of track pretty soon there, and I definitely want to give you guys a hand laying a bit of narrow gauge track. It would really make my day, I got to say. So anyway, the offer is there. Just give me a jingling or send me an email, and we'll do that. And what else I got to say? Well, it's really too bad that we lost our railway, but I guess it was a sign of the times. Trans-Canada was put through, and there was more people using vehicles than there was passenger service on the trains. So the same thing with freight trains. There was more freight being handled by the tractor trailers than by train. Although some of the latest videos of the trains here in Newfoundland, just days before they were actually, before they actually doomed to be tore apart, we did have some pretty big freight trains at the end of it. But that's it. That's how she goes. So maybe one of these days, with all the mineral exploration going around here now, and oil and everything else, maybe some company in the near future will look at Newfoundland as well, not just Newfoundland, but looking at the original rail bed as a new route for a new railway on the province, because it'll certainly be a lot easier bringing freight back and forth over the island by rail, as we all know. and especially if we're going to do a lot of shipping of oil and whatnot from to the mainland, or to come by chance. Of course, it'd be a lot easier to ship it by rail than it would be by truck, so I guess we'll see how that's all going to pan out. So one can only hope that we'll get our railway back. I've got my fingers crossed. There's a lot of naysayers saying, "No, we'll never ever get it back, and we'll never ever have a railway again." But as the old saying goes, boys, you got to keep the faith, keep your fingers crossed, and hope that it's somewhere in the future that somebody will look at Newfoundland as another rail link. I know that Via Rail was interested in the island of Newfoundland again. Via Rail was never here, but it'd be interesting if they did, because there's a passenger service, and it would be nice to see Via Rail come here. It'd be really awesome. As well, I've heard a little bit of chatter about CP Rail, and again, they're also interested in Newfoundland, or so it seems. And there's also a mining company on the mainland, that in the mainland Labrador, that is interested in putting a rail link across from Labrador to the island of Newfoundland, up on the north coast, up around St. Anthony. And that would be really, really, really good. See some railway, even as freight, don't care what it is, just so we can have a train link again. So anyway, folks, I'll let you go and bid you adieu until the next episode of Exploring the Newfoundland Railway. I hope you're enjoying the videos so far as much as I enjoy making them for you. There's a lot of history out there. You just gotta look, and you gotta look off the beaten path. It's there. You just got to look. Alright guys, take it easy. All the best.